let's talk about science. Two of the three scientists from We Rogue Like It are here together. I'm your host, Boston PhD. DDS something.
I think you're DDS. I think it's okay. Monkey Junior / Senior Junior. PhD.
Yeah.
Dr. Moon DDS.
Yes, there we go. Dr. Moon, and we're also joined here by Musim MD.
There we go. Yep, that works nicely.
There we go. This is not We Rogue Like It. This is Game Club. If you were listening to it last month, which hopefully you did, where we wrapped up Dream Daddy, I have an addition to ranking, so I figured we might as well do this with Game Club since we don't have anything to do in December. And that's really how this happened.
Spoiler alert, we had too much time on our hands, and apparently we don't produce enough content as it is.
I have a problem.
Yes, you do.
Someone take Audition away from... I just feel badly that we're only going to give you 11 months of content instead of 12. So I thought, why not? While we're here.
Yeah, I only play like 5 games a month specifically for the non-mainline show.
I'm playing like 6 games all at the same time right now for this show, and it's killing me. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about ranking the 11 games we have played this year. If you're listening to the audio version, the video version is definitely recommended. You're watching the video version, the ranking is over here. The big green thing.
Am I on the bottom right or the bottom left?
You are on the bottom left.
So I can do this.
The other way.
This.
There you go.
Because it mirrors. It mirrors.
Right.
I forgot it mirrors.
Yep. So all the rankings are over there.
Musim's got this easy. Musim can just do this, and he's fine.
No, he's over that way too. You're all.
I'm really confused about the whole layout, so I'm just.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you listen to We Rogue Like It before, it's going to be very similar. If you haven't, number 1, go listen to it. It's really great. Number 2, we're going to go through in chronological order the 11 games we played this year and figure out how they all rank. We're going to start with 1 and sort of go from there, a little bit by the seat of our pants. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. You deserve better than to me not lie to you. So let's get started here with Iconoclast, dragging in the list, best game of the year. Let's move on.
Okay, so let's a quick refresher course.
Sure, we can talk.
Something we actually discussed while getting set up for the show in the 30 seconds it took for us to put this idea together and suddenly decide to do it, was I've forgotten some games on this list.
100%. Yep.
As a memory refresher, Iconoclasts is the 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania with the giant spanner, if memory serves correctly.
Yes, and the very disappointing final boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memory refreshed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Iconoclast, not a game we really loved, but someone has to be first on the list, and that's January's game.
Yes.
So next we have Last Day of June. Is that better or worse than Iconoclasts?
I have a tough one with this, because like Last Day of June, you got this really cool soundtrack by the one person that I talked about on the show that I don't remember right now.
We're done
Yeah, I
with
don't
February's
remember the
episode, folks.
That was the one with the famous musician guy who did it, though.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
And like, I guess their audio guy was a fan of him and had him send stems of his songs and arrange it. But it had a really cool artwork style. It was a real sad thing, but then like the point and click aspects were a little annoying. But Iconoclast, like,
a little repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconoclast was a little too long, and I don't really like 2D side-scrollers that much, but part of me is leaning on Iconoclast being just like a hair better than Last Day of June, because I really enjoyed the weird storyline with the whatever church thing that ruled everyone, and
the underground city of rebels, and
Yeah. What do you think, Moon?
I'm with Musim on this. Like, honestly, it could be either or. Maybe Iconoclast takes it by a whisker, but I think The Last Day of June is slightly disappointed for me because it's a time travel story, and if you miss one section of that thing that you're supposed to do to change the timeline, you have to do the whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
That was really annoying as someone who missed one thing like 5 times.
I think mentioning that, I think I'll put it under Iconoclast here, but like you're saying, like just by like a millimeter, it's nothing. Next up in our March of Sad games was Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Where are we going to put that?
Better than those other two. I'm sorry, did you want to go first, Moon?
No, I'm
No, it's
good. I would
free-for-all.
actually say, I honestly, my biggest detractor from Brother Tale of the Two Sons was the fact that it was so hyped. Like, so hyped.
That's
Like,
true.
the first time I played this was for the show, and I had like 6 years of people telling me that it was one of the greatest games ever made.
You don't even know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree that we can probably stick it above the other two.
Okay.
Yeah, I 100% agree it was overhyped.
Yeah. But it was still very good.
I mean, how many games actually convey an emotion and story beat with the controls like that?
Right.
Mhm.
And no
That is-
words.
Yeah, it is rarely like done and executed as well as Brothers did, even if it had other problems and had fans that were. Fans seem to be too rabid in general. I know I've been one of them before, but
I don't know what you're talking about as a fan of Parks and Recreation, and as someone who has tried to watch Rick and Morty, and someone who's never seen The Office. Let me tell you, fans are fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
The internet is totally normal.
I'm just thinking about all the people I probably annoyed by posting on their podcasts or whatever when I first played Warframe, like the first year or two.
Yo, dudes, go play Warframe. It's great.
Yeah. All right, the next game here is Super Hot. Hot.
No arguments needed, I think, with this one. This automatically jumps to the top of the list.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes my job a lot easier, and I agree. It's the most innovative shooter I've played in years.
Which I could swear, because I was going to say that, and you stole it from me, you big thief!
I could see you winding up for it, and I had to get in there.
So, funny story. Before the podcast started, I said there's a clear winner on this list, and I didn't see Super Hot when I said that.
Aha! There you go. See it.
This-
That's what's great about these rankings. It just anything can happen.
Regrets have been
Maybe
made.
more difficult.
Yeah. Next game here on our list is Florence.
I forget. Is this the visual novel mobile game?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Because I just
Okay.
I didn't see this on the list, and I just read this out, and I was like, oh god, I don't remember Florence.
No, this is the artist and the cellist with the really, really pretty
Yes.
music. in it.
Yeah.
And the really cool, like, intuitive touch controls for everything.
Yes.
Has a really cool art style.
Yeah.
I want you guys to remember this because I think this should go right below Super Hot.
I 100% agree with you. This goes right below Super Hot.
Okay. I will agree with that. I
I'm
think that's
excited for this game company's next game, whatever that winds up being. I probably should look
Yeah.
that up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one is Cuphead. Scoot that here to the bottom of the list just to start. Is that better than Last Day of June?
Yes.
I will agree. I think, Musum, this is the one you weren't on, right?
Right.
Okay.
I
would
will let you guys decide where this goes, unless you want to put it above Florence. And I don't know what I have to argue
Yeah,
with you. But
No, we're not. My takeaway from Cuphead, to remind everyone, is I don't know if I love... No, I know I like Cuphead. Well, I don't know if I like it. I know I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I got it.
Okay, so above Last Day of June, yes.
Yeah.
Above Iconoclast?
Iconoclast?
Yes.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think it goes one higher and it stops, because I think it goes above Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons,
Okay.
purely because, don't get me wrong, like, Brothers' story is amazing. Brothers is fucking incredibly done. This is a bullet hell shooter designed in the art style that's hand animated from like the 40s. Like, this thing just exudes style at every opportunity. As a game, I absolutely despise how hard it is.
Right.
But I think it's so strong. Like, if you were to show me a screenshot from any other game and a screenshot from Cuphead, and say, name these two games, or there's a white dude holding a gun walking towards the camera, so that could be any one of a million games.
Right.
You show me a screenshot of Cuphead, and it's like, that's Cuphead.
Right.
Like,
That's
it's
Chappie.
At this point, it has become iconic. Like, that
Yeah.
style, that look. And like it or not, there are people out there who will repeatedly headbutt themselves against a wall trying to get better and better scores and all that kind of stuff in this. This is a game I am happy to say I will never get every achievement in, and I am perfectly fine with that.
All right, I will put it up there. I will agree with you. I think it stops there. I don't think it's better than Florence.
No.
No. Okay, next game is Tokyo 42, starting at the bottom. and
Okay,
staying
refresher
there.
refresher for everybody. This is the isometric top-down World of Assassins,
Super
like John
great
Wick
style.
Mm-hmm.
Just style for days, and that's about it.
Basically impossible to play with a controller.
Great soundtrack. I liked
Great
the soundtrack.
Good concept, good idea.
Yeah.
I played it with mouse and keyboard, and I didn't. I played it on PC and started with mouse and keyboard, and then switched to controller because I disliked the control so much. I think the control scheme on this game was a bad idea.
Yeah.
That they should have maybe ditched a huge, like 30% of this game and just started over with their concept of,
Right.
okay, we got this cool art style, this 3-dimension thing. Let's completely rethink what we're doing control-wise because this is nonsense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
So are we all thinking bottom of the stack right now?
Yeah, I think it's bottom of the list.
Yeah.
I think it combines two bad things. It is not fun to play, and it's mechanically not a solid game.
It's so hard to play sometimes. Like, if you don't get that camera angle right and you happen to not see one little edge and that
Yeah.
can help you, then
It's over.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, next game is Orwell, Keeping an Eye on You. We can at least move that above Tokyo 42. I think that's probably pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Last Day of June.
Yes.
Agreed. Better than Iconoclasts.
Yep.
Agreed. Better than Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Yes.
Yep.
Agreed. Better than Cuphead.
Yes.
Yup. 100%.
Yep. Better than Florence.
I don't know.
That's so. Without me seeing Super Hot and remembering what Florence was, I looked at the list and thought, oh, obviously the Orwell's going to win this list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with like these up there, I don't know, man. Like Florence is a really solid 2-hour experience.
It's exactly what it wants to be. It tells the most tight, compact, emotional as hell storyline.
No fluff.
No, it's literally it's the steak, the pure steak of video games, where it's like, here is the story we want to tell. Here are some simple mechanics to do so. We're using the control scheme that we have, and like even something as simple as going back to Florence, it's the mechanics of the arguments. Like, you get your argument in faster if you match those things faster, and then you start to win the argument if you're solving those little puzzle sections. It's like it's the definition of perfectly paced and put together storytelling in a video game format. Orwell is a whole different ball game in the fact that it's intense. It tells a great story. It has that things are a little bit too close to 2019 kind of thing going on with it right now.
I think for me, though, I think Orwell does something incredibly well in the same vein that Florence does, where Orwell's interface is perfect for this type of game. Like, you feel like you're sitting down in front of this government terminal and logging in to do your job, and it all goes wrong, but like you feel like that interface is perfect for the job you're doing. And like, it always felt great dragging stuff that you found from scouring through newspaper articles, and like you found this URL from digging into someone's computer and their history and their trash can, and that pointed you to their bank records, and like you start putting this whole thing together, and Orwell is just really cool.
And then it does the classic thing as well, which we mentioned on that show, which is it acts like a machine. like the text conversation when the doctor's on the lady's phone account and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a doctor or I'm a psychiatrist. You can change her occupation to a psychiatrist because she technically said it, even though it wasn't her.
Yep.
Like, it does
I'm
that
getting
world building
tortured.
so well.
You know, like that famous thing, like, she's being tortured? It's like, no.
I feel like Orwell probably wins this just because its scope is so much bigger than Florence's, and I feel like it lands it. I don't know that there's a ton of flaws in Orwell, you know?
And I think its
100%.
episodic structure helps it so much. Because I think, but you get one mystery, and when that wraps up, you get a little teaser for the next episode, but each episode was like 2 hours and change, and it was a perfect, like, single bite of game. And I thought that worked really well.
And I think with Orwell as well, it, like, don't get me wrong, like, most of the games on this list have made me feel something. Like, Cuphead made me feel frustrated. Brothers made me feel sad and a revelation on that controller moment too.
Yeah.
Iconoclasts amused me. Last Day of June's made me really sad. Tokyo 42 made me want this emotion called controller breaking.
A different depressed.
Like, Florence made me feel genuinely sad and then genuinely happy straight afterwards.
Right.
Like, with the way that story's told. Superhot makes you feel like a badass.
Yep.
Orwell made me feel dirty. And it's very rare that you can say that a game made you feel icky and feel wrong, and that's a good thing for the game.
You know you're doing the wrong thing, but I found myself in Orwell continuing to dig, hoping I'll find something better the deeper down I dig this hole, and just realizing
justify why you're
maybe I'll just
so
find
hard.
this one little article that will blow this whole thing open, and it's just a misunderstanding. Oh no, I found more dead bodies down here. Well, let's just keep digging. Yeah, or I would be okay with Orwell hitting top of the list.
I'm on the fence with it being above Superhot.
Okay.
Superhot, I feel like, was such. It's problematic that the game says this is the most innovative shooter in years. It's like,
because then it is.
It is.
Yeah.
They
But
came
when
up
it's-
with a really amazing idea, and like, granted, we played the normal version. I talked a little bit about the VR one, but
Sure.
like, I guess when I'm also making this argument, I'm thinking about my experience with the VR in it too. So with you guys not, or at least I don't think you guys have experienced that.
No.
No.
So
I think part of Superhot for me, though, is it thematically does something similar to Orwell, where Superhot is a fine game when it starts, and it's a cool little novelty. But the first time it breaks the fourth wall, and it breaks the fourth wall in the world too, it one of those moments where I just sat back and I was like, oh no, it got me. Like, this is really something special. Like, the shooting is fine and the action is fine. Like, all that stuff is mechanically really good, but just the breaking the internet and, like, getting into this metaverse storyline of the game is that's what really escalates it.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, Orwell probably goes second.
Okay. I would put it at the top, but
Newsom?
I'm not gonna die on that hill, so I'm more than happy to have it be number 2.
I mean, we could do the rest of the list and then come back and decide if we like it the way it is. It's tough because, like, in a way, I feel like Orwell is more like philosophically relevant.
Sure.
But in the video game sense, Superhot is way more awesome and relevant. And me having that 3D experience, like, after you get through the first level, you're in the guy's, like, computer room looking around in VR. It's just this crappy
you, like, pick up
closet.
and feed the floppy into the computer to load levels, like... Yeah.
Like, you do other things. Well, I don't want to spoil it because I want you guys to experience it someday. You do ridiculous things in that VR thing.
And then you get that awesome replay at the end where it's like, yeah, I did all that super cool stuff. Yeah.
So in VR, whenever you get a trophy or achievement, a Post-it note goes flying by you, and those are all stuck on your wall.
That's really good.
Cool.
Oh, man.
Like, and the thing with that as well is, like, I haven't seen, like, I saw Gersman playing the VR version of it,
Yeah.
and seeing him, like, how the puzzle changes, like, you know, obviously because it's in VR, but seeing him, like, clear out this one area, then throw a gun up towards a balcony where he teleported to next, and then
Right.
catch his own gun that he threw to himself.
John
It's like,
Wick.
come on, how?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I'm okay with keeping Orwell at number 2. I think it's very much like we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Like, Superhot and Orwell are both like number 1 and number 2 at the same time. Like, they're sort of both ties, but you can't go wrong playing either one of them at this point.
yeah.
All right, only 3 games left. Next one is Thomas Was Alone, BAFTA award-winning.
Thank you.
Thomas Was Alone. My apologies, I almost forgot.
So, recap for everybody who doesn't remember, it's the cubes who talk.
Yes, the cubes who talk and leave the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
It had a lot of charm, and I think it needed to end maybe 1 or 2 levels earlier than it did.
Sure. I would agree a little lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
Very charming, incredible voice acting, fantastic writing. I cared about shapes of colors, which is not a thing I would have ever expected.
Yeah, you have a favorite color and shape when you come out of the game, which
Yeah.
is a really weird thing to say when you're not talking about Tetris.
Well, it's funny, like, before when people would tell me about this game, like, I'd never looked up screenshots. I thought it was just a low budget, I didn't really have a artist, so I made a box here and a box
Yeah, I
there.
made some
and,
boxes.
like,
That's the characters.
Like
Yeah.
the,
actually
like the
really
early
attractive
versions
game.
of the early versions of Braid that you see on Indie Game the movie, where it's just boxes
Right.
chasing each other.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, yeah, it's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, where do we want to start? Probably Better Than Brothers.
Yes, I'm okay putting it above Brothers.
I mean, I'd put it right under Florence, but I guess I don't really have a
Well,
horse in the race for Cuphead.
That's going to be our next question: was Thomas Alone better than Cuphead? I would say yes. I mean, they're so different, but
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it going above Cuphead. Style can only get you so far, and in the game's case, a lack of style got it a lot further.
right. I would say it's. I don't think it's better than Florence, but it's close.
No, it stays exactly where it is, I
I
think.
think Florence's length was a boon to Florence and a negative to Thomas Was Alone.
Yeah.
Next up, Grow Home. Let's start at the bottom. Is it better than Tokyo 42?
Yes.
I will say it's, as the tiebreaker, I'll say it's better than Tokyo 42 because it mechanically functions. And I will say it stops there.
That's how you can tell we played some real bangers and then some real bangers this year.
It makes me happy. What I wanted to accomplish with Game Club originally was they're not all going to be great games, but we're going to play a bunch of games that we missed or are lower budget or are indie darlings or something. And as we found out this year, they're not all winners, and that's okay. Sometimes they're Tokyo 42. But I played Tokyo 42 finally, and I found out.
I remember
cool
that
as
as
it
well
looks.
because, like, for those of you who don't know, and I don't know if Musem's aware of this, like, I watch Giant Bomb videos a lot. However, my life is hectic, so I end up being basically a bit behind on the videos. And when I say a bit behind, I'm talking 2 to 3 years behind on the videos.
Right.
But because I've got an obsessive compulsive problem, I can't just go to the latest page and just start watching there. It's like, no, I'm up to page 64.
You've got your spot.
I'm up to this video,
Right.
and I'm just going to go through, and if a video catches my eye or a quick look catches my eye, I'll watch it, and then I'll see how I feel. And then while I'm doing that, I will randomly have Discord open and then send a link to the quick look to Boston and say, this game would be really good for Game Club. This game would be really good for We Roguelike It.
A lot of our list for both shows is Moon sending me something like in the middle of the night, being like, this is a really great Game Club game. It's like, okay, great. Matt, we have another Game Club game.
And like literally I sent that to you one day and then your immediate response was, oh my, I forgot about that. How did I forget about Tokyo 42? I was so hyped for when that thing was like announced.
So I didn't like Tokyo 42.
Apologies for my kids screaming in the background.
And I accept the order that has been put for us. But I hated Grow Home. I don't think there's a game I hated more on this list than Grow Home.
For me, that was Tokyo 42. But I think the only thing that got Grow Home above Tokyo 42 for me is I felt like the act of controlling and locomoting your character in Tokyo 42 often didn't function. I think Grow Home locomoting your character was frustrating, but I think the action of crawling with like one hand was fun. For granted, like 20 minutes.
I literally
did not like that at all.
Yeah.
But I don't. We're splitting hairs. I'm completely cool with it.
We're splitting hairs over losers.
Yes. I mean, for me, it was just a case of Grow Home is passable and barely passable.
Yeah.
Whereas Tokyo 42 was like, again, not to tweet my own horn or paddle my own boat or anything like that, but I like to consider myself good at video games.
Sure.
I play a lot of video games on the hardest difficulty for A, that sweet Chibo, and B, the sense of progression.
Yeah.
I recently completed Outer Worlds on Supernova difficulty in 37 hours and change.
Yeah.
Adored every second of it. Like, love that thing. I don't know why I struggle with shooting people in Tokyo 42. It's like,
it just doesn't make sense.
I can aim and shoot and point and click with the best of them.
Yeah.
Why am I struggling that much with Tokyo 42?
Why my bullets no make man dead? Like, it's just like
exactly.
What, yeah. All right. Well, our final game here is Dream Daddy. We'll scoot that above Grow Home for the basis of our discussion that we just had. So, is Dream Daddy better than Last Day of June?
Yes.
Agreed. Is Dream Daddy better than Iconoclasts?
Yes.
Agreed.
Also, I love how much me and Musum are in sync in this whole thing.
I'm digging it. Is Dream Daddy better than Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would agree. Is Dream Daddy better than Cuphead?
100% yes.
I will agree with that as well. Is Dream Daddy better than Thomas Was Alone? I feel like this is where the rubber meets the road a little bit.
Yeah.
They both tell great stories. Thomas Was Alone has that side-scrolly platformy thing that Musum hates so much.
Let's say I got impatient with Thomas Was Alone, and Dream Daddy, to me, kind of abruptly ended.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think, Dream Daddy, obviously, well, it's odd. They're both charming games, right? They both have good writing that is charming. I would say Dream Dad, well, gosh, some of those, like the cubes getting mad at each other, or falling in love with each other, or having superpowers,
not wanting to talk to each other because that rectangle doesn't trust that cube thing that just appeared out of nowhere.
Backstabbing people.
Oh man,
Dream Daddy has so many dad puns.
It has dad puns, yes. The thing with me is like I played Thomas Was Alone way back when, and then when we did the episode, I just listened to a playthrough of it because I don't need to see cubes solve these puzzles that I've already solved. The thing with Dream Daddy is I've done 2 dates with one dad, 3 dates with another dad, and 1 date with like 3 dads. So many dads in my life.
You're dating around, it's fine.
Like, I still want to go back. I want to see what that 3rd date is going to be like with Brian. I want to not mess up the relationship with Robert and get to his smooshy inner interior rather than his hard outer shell.
Right.
Like, I want to go back and experience that, whereas I'm fine listening to an audiobook version of Thomas Was Alone. I want to go back and play Dream Daddy just to get more out of it. So for me, Dream Daddy goes above Thomas.
That is a pretty strong argument, because I guess I'm in the same boat, really. Like, if I were to want to experience Thomas Was Alone again, I don't know that I'd play it when I can just watch a video that's a couple hours or listen to it and get all that charming dialogue.
Play through 100 levels again.
Yeah, like literally I had the thing in my pocket, I had a YouTube playlist open, and I was listening to it while I was doing chores.
Yeah.
And like Dream Daddy I beat, and I started over just to see if there were any special options on the intro, and I don't think there were.
Yeah, I don't think there is, but you can get photos of each individual dad by making the right choice.
Right. And I did get the, Damien's photo. Me and him had a good ending.
Yeah.
Yes, the demure graveyard photograph that I got as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right, I will drag Dream Daddy above Thomas Was Alone. Is Dream Daddy better than Florence?
Okay, here's where I'll get a little snooty.
Okay.
I think Florence is a work of art.
Okay.
I think Dream Daddy is borderline, well, Dream Daddy's okay. This is my problem.
I get what you're going for.
I have no artistic respect for romantic comedies typically.
Okay.
And Dream Daddy's a romantic comedy, but it's not a movie romantic comedy where obviously all of those people would be trying to actually murder each other after the end.
Right. Yeah, it's not like the tropish romantic comedy. It's more of a sincere kind of romantic comedy.
Sure. Yeah. But Florence is so small in scope. It really is a boon to it, I think, in these discussions.
It is so incredibly well executed.
Yeah.
Like there's no fat on that game.
Yeah.
I would be okay with Dream Daddy staying at number 4. They're both really great for different reasons, but I would agree with you, Musum. I think Florence edges it out for me, not by a mile, but just by here's a game that musically, artistically, gameplay wise, it all is a little bit better than Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy has other positives and other great facets to it, but Florence is just it's so close to perfect.
I think Musum actually phrased this perfectly, because I mean, how many years as gamers they're so old. How many times have we seen the cycle of the discussion come up where it's like, oh, video games are art?
Right.
And you hear that every 2-3 years, that whole thing kicks up again. It's like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Blah, blah, blah. And we've had examples in the past where you can say, oh, games art. Yes, they are. Look at this. But then someone will say, well, no, they're not. Look at Call of Duty.
Sure.
It's like, that's fine. Go and look at the giant tin of Heinz tomato soup, and you think that's art compared to the Mona Lisa. It's different classifications of art, but it's the same thing. Just the same way a shooter can be versus something else. But Musum's description is spot on. If anyone ever came to me and said, show me a video game that proves that video games can be art, I've got 2 answers for them. Florence and What Remains of Edith Finch.
Sure. Sit down 2 hours for this one, 4 hours for this one. We'll have a good day.
They are literally, the phrasing, it may sound pretentious,
sure,
but in the most earnest way possible, both of those games are genuinely works of art to me. They nail what they need to nail. They're in the door, out the door. There's no excess stuff on there that you need to worry about. They are just so amazing experiences.
Well, and you just think about some of the. I mean, I guess here's another edge it would have over Dream Daddy. In Florence, you have moments where, oh, where's that music coming from? And you have her follow the music, and eventually she starts flying through the air.
Yeah.
As she's just kind of breathing in the music. In Dream Daddy, you're put into a mini game, which is immediately hilarious, and then the mini game is terrible. It takes you out of the experience slightly.
Right.
And that's probably, I think that probably gives it a leg up in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, for me, Florence stays where it is. Dream Daddy goes below it. I love Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy's fun.
They're just not in the same. They're both being played in the same movie theater, but they're not the same experience.
I mean, I think, to be honest, if we're looking at this year's Game Club list, like, those top three, like, go and play any one of them, like, right now.
Yeah.
They are all so unique and so perfect in their own ways. Like, I mean, like I said, Orwell made me feel dirty, and that's a good thing.
Right.
How does making me feel not right with myself a
Right.
good thing?
Right.
But it does it, and it does it so well. And
I didn't expect Orwell either, but like when you're playing it to be as engrossing as it was, because like you start looking for stuff and it is way more like it draws you in way more than you'd expect it to.
100%. Like there was one time I think I started, like, my usual rule is everything off by 11, in bed by midnight at the latest, but generally speaking I start my bedtime routine at 11 p.m. at the latest, so everything turned off, start getting ready for bed. I think I started an episode of Orwell at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I looked at the clock and it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh,
son of a.
oh, that's not good.
Yeah. All right, well, let's, if you're watching the video version, you see our top 11 here. Let's recap this, just in case, especially for the audio listeners. Starting from the bottom, Tokyo 42, Grow Home, Last Day of June, Iconoclasts, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Cuphead, Thomas Was Alone, Dream Daddy, and our top three, Florence, Orwell, Keeping an Eye on You, and Super Hot. Super.
That's the most innovative first-person shooter you've ever played.
That's right.
Like, I hate the fact that they put that in there, because it's so perfect.
So good. It's so good. All right, well, that's our list. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We were going to announce what game we were going to pick here at the end of this episode, and I
forgot to do it.
Totally forgot to do it. So if you guys want to talk about maybe this year, I can randomly pick a game here right now while we're doing this.
Okay. So, okay, personal front. You mentioned at the start, Musim, before you saw Super Hot was in there. I'm guessing your winner was Florence, or was it Orwell?
It was. I didn't see Florence either. My winner was Orwell.
Yeah.
That probably would have been my winner too.
Yeah. Florence kind of threw a wrench in things because it's such a short game and there's not a ton of mechanics in it, but it's like near. If nothing's perfect, this is near perfect execution, you know, and like it has such a good art style and the music is just fantastic for it. Like it's
one of those games where it says, please play this with headphones on, and you 100% should put headphones in to play that game.
All right, random.org has selected our latest game, and this is the just announced coming to Game Pass game, The Talos Principle. So,
hold on, Talos Principle.
Okay, we'll see if I am smart enough to finish this game.
I know I am not, so we will see how far
this is not the weird robot woman in the tower game, is it?
No, this is the one where the cover is like those robot arms petting a white cat.
Okay, I might own this already. I don't know.
You probably. I feel like this is one of those games that everybody owns by this point on some platform. So, and it's out on a whole bunch of stuff. So we will be playing the Talos Principle, and we'll meet on the 3rd Saturday of January to talk about that. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening and watching. And we'll see you next month. Bye.
Bye.